Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a book review over My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. So, this is a contemporary novel, and it is a romance novel, a teen romance to be
At this point, I failed to say specifically,
anyway,
so sorry.
I gave this book a 4 out of 5 star rating because the ending was not what I anticipated. And it didn't meet my expectations, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. This book was really easy to read. It was relatable to any teenage girl, I would think. It is relatable. And it uses slang and stuff, so it's really easy to read. So the characters in this book are Samantha Reed and Jace Garrett. Samantha Reed comes from a political family of just her mom. Her dad left her when she was little. And she has a sister named Tracy who is older, and she had just graduated the following school year. The setting is in the summertime, like before senior year. So, yeah. And the other main character is Jace Garrett. Jace Garrett is the same age as Samantha. They're both 17. They're both about to go into their senior year of high school, except for Samantha goes to a private school. Jace goes to a public school. And Jace is from a low-income family. He has 7 siblings, 5 boys in the family and 3 girls. He is the second oldest of the family, and he is trying to be a football athlete so he can get scholarships to college and stuff because his family is low income and has 7 or 8 children. So about to be 9 because the mom ends up pregnant, but we won't get there. But yeah, so Jace is you'd think he'd be the stereotypical, hot babe that lives next door. But really, he is a hot babe, but he has a zoo in his room, and he's real weird, but he's really interesting and fun, and he's really nice, and he's a gentleman. So, yeah. Those are the 2 main characters. The other characters are the other 7 siblings of Jace's, and their names are Joelle, Alice, Jace, there's Jace, Andy, Duff, Harry, George, and Patsy. Patsy's youngest, and George is 3 or 4, and then the rest are kind of teenagers. So yeah, teenagers below Jace's age. So that's all of Jace's siblings, and then there's the mom and the dad. I don't quite remember their name though. But then Samantha has one sister named Tracy, and Tracy is kind of from the stoner group a little bit. She's the rebellious sister, and Samantha is the goody two-shoes, really smart, really pretty. And so in a way, Samantha is expected to be this perfect daughter who wants to be a politician and make straight A's and is involved in a lot of clubs, but she's not. She wants to join the swim team and just not be expected of so much from her mother. So yeah, and Jace is pretty much an AB student who is trying to get a scholarship through athletics, playing football like his older brother. So yeah, so Samantha and Jace end up falling in love, but the thing with that is that Samantha's mother does not approve of the Garretts. She thinks that they're messy and they're loud and they're not and since they're just like Samantha's father's family is what she says. Samantha's father's family had 5 kids and was always insane inside their household, and they never got anything done, and they weren't a wealthy family even after they grew out and had careers and stuff. The children didn't end up well. So Mrs. Reed is not like the Garretts, Samantha's mother. And so when Samantha falls in love with one of the Garretts, she has to keep it a secret from her mother. And she also keeps it a secret from her best friend, Nan. And Nan is a very smart, intelligent girl who is the same age as Samantha. And she in the middle of the book, a conflict happens with her and Samantha, and they don't end up being friends anymore. But Nan has an older brother named Tim, and Tim struggles with alcohol and drug abuse, and he overcomes it, but he's a sarcastic jerk. He's hilarious. I love him. He's probably one of my favorite characters in the book, even though he is kind of not one of the main characters. But he is a very big character in this book. He helps with a lot of the conflicts and resolutions of this novel. So basically what happens is after Samantha and Jace fall in love, and then Mrs. Garrett finds out about it, and she doesn't approve, and she judges Sam and doesn't want them to be together. And Sam just tells her mom, I'm not this perfect girl, and you can't control me. And the character development from Sam because of Jace is incredible. I love this book because of the character development that it has with each and every character. But towards the end of the book, it's as if the author didn't want to write anymore, and she just kind of gave up on the book at the end, and it sucked. But anyway, So yeah, they fall in love, and then this big conflict happens where Samantha is forced to break up with Jace, and Jace is confused because Samantha doesn't tell him why she like is breaking with him, and she's heartbroken about it, and she's being forced to. And so then she decides, after like a week of that, and Jace is just so confused, and he doesn't go after her. He doesn't try to fight for her. He doesn't bother her because she tells him, you know, just leave me alone. I won't ever talk to you and all that. Because of the conflict that had happened with his family and her family. So yeah, that happened. They broke up, and then so then Samantha wants to tell Jace the truth about the conflict, and then she does, and then all is like well until her mother confesses for what she did. And then, so her mom confesses what she did, but the conflict still isn't really resolved and stuff, but what the conflict was is that her mother had ran over Mr. Garrett, Jace's dad, on a night. It was an accident. She didn't mean to, and basically Samantha was in the back, and she was asleep while it happened. It was dark. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and it was rainy, and she was really tired from the day before, and so she didn't like know that her mom ran over Mr. Garrett. She just thought it was like a bump in the road, and so she didn't know it was her mother. And then the next day, like, Mr. Garrett was in the hospital, and the Garretts were all freaking out and stuff. So yeah, and then this guy Clay Tucker that Samantha's mother has been dating for this whole like novel, pretty much. But he's kind of like her assistant in a way that he's helping her out with her re-election, her campaign. So he basically tells Gracie to keep on driving and to not look back, you know, and she was a little tipsy, so she didn't know exactly what had happened either. So Clay takes control of it, and he calls 911 on a payphone, like a side road phone, so that his phone doesn't get traced and like nobody can like figure out who like ran over Mr. Garrett. So that happens, and then Samantha finds clues over the week, like finding a bunch of clues of why or how it was her mother and who did it, and then she finds out, and then Clay blackmails her saying that he's going to take all of those of all of the people who support like Jace's dad's hardware store, and he's gonna like take them away so that they don't have any money and they don't have anybody supporting them, so that they can't make any money. And so Samantha is forced to break up with Jace, and that's what the conflict was. And so then Samantha goes against, like, she decides, you know, I don't care. I'm gonna, like, after she breaks up with Jace, it's been a week, and she's like thought about it. She's like, I'm gonna go tell Jace this is the right thing to do. This is what I'm going to do. And she does it, and she tells Jace, and Jace is like, okay, well, I'm not gonna go and tell my mom. So yeah, Jace is just like, I'm not gonna go tell my parents. You know, I'm gonna leave it up to you because he's a gentleman and he's nice. And so he lets Samantha make the decision on whether she is going to, you know, force her mom to give up her career and everything that she's done with her job, just to, you know, say to the community, you know, I did this, instead of, you know, just keeping it on the DL and not, like, paying their hospital bill and stuff. And, like, but if the dad does die, is the problem. If the dad dies, then she's committed murder. So that's the conflict in this book. And what Samantha does is she goes and she tells her mom, hey, look, you need to come confess. You know, like, this family doesn't deserve this. You know, like, you messed up. You know, they you know, they're going to be the ones more hurt over it than you. You know, you might lose like a couple $1,000s from not being the senator, but you still have your trust fund, you know? So, she tells her mom that, and her mom comes, like, understands and confesses, and then Clay Tucker leaves her. What a jerk. Yeah, he leaves her after that. So yeah, she confesses, and then the dad survives, but, you know, like, he stays in the hospital for a few months, and then, Gracie, offers to pay his hospital bill and everything, and he's like, no, I don't, you know, need that. And so they're gonna be struggling with that hospital bill forever. But and then Jace, and the book just ends with Jace and Samantha, and it's like a sunset, and they're like happy and stuff, but it's like, what happens to the dad, you know, like, what happens to the mom, what happens, you know, the ending does not tell us anything. But there's another book that's not necessarily a continuation or a sequel, but it's like an off like brain, I don't know. But there's another book by Huntley Fitzpatrick that is about Tim and Alice, because Tim is always like flirting with Alice in a way. So it's a book about like Tim and Alice and how their relationship furthers and stuff, and I'm really excited to read that. So I do recommend My Life Next Door. It is a great book. It'll put you in a happy mood, and it'll like make you smile, and it's great to read at nighttime before you go to bed, and like, I don't know, it's just a great book, and I do recommend that you read it. So So yeah, that's my review on My Life Next Door. I know this is terrible, so yeah, make fun of me all you want. Bye. It was hard to read. Like it wasn't like an old. It was a very modern type of writing, and it was